The gunshot was not meant to kill him. It was meant to warn him. But when the bullet tore through the ballot box and the ink splashed across his thumb, Emeka understood something too late. The money in his pocket was heavier than blood, and blood was already on the ground.
Emeka Okuye was not born corrupt. He was born in a small compound in Aba, Abia State, the kind of place where rainwater entered the sitting room before visitors did. His mother fried akara by the roadside. His father, once a proud civil servant, died waiting for pension arrears that never came. Politics killed his father. Not with a gun, but with delay, with neglect, with stolen funds meant for hospitals. So Emeka grew up angry. He would sit with old men under the mango tree and curse politicians by name. He knew about the assassination of Chief Bola Ige. He heard stories of how power swallowed good men. He knew how elections in Nigeria sometimes came with fear. He swore he would be different. He swore he would protect his vote. He swore he would never sell his conscience. Until hunger began to speak louder than promises.
The election year came like Hamatan, dry, tense, and full of dust. Campaign posters of different parties covered electric poles. Loudspeakers screamed promises, change, transformation, renewed hope. But in Emeka's house, there was no rice. One evening, as he returned from his small POS business, a black SUV stopped beside him. The window rolled down slowly. Emeka Okwe, the man inside asked. Yes. We heard you are respected among youths in this area. Emeka said nothing. The man smiled. Election is coming. We need strong boys to ensure things go smoothly. How smoothly? The man laughed softly. You are intelligent. We don't need violence, just guidance. Make sure our people vote correctly. Protect our interests. He handed Emeka an envelope. It was thick. 200,000 naira now, more after results. Emeka's heart pounded. 200,000. His mother's hospital bills, his younger sister's school fees, the rent overdue for 6 months. All we need, the man continued, is loyalty. The SUV drove away. Emeka stood there, envelope in hand, feeling like the ground had shifted. That night, he placed the money on the small wooden table. His mother stared at it. Where did this come from? Work, Emeka said. She looked at him longer than usual. What kind of work? He hesitated. Election work. Silence filled the room like smoke. Emeka, she said slowly, your father died because politicians stole hospital money, you remember? I remember. Then don't join them. It's not like that, Mama. I'm just helping during election. Everybody is doing it. She shook her head. Everybody is not you. But hunger was louder than her voice. The next morning, he accepted the job. They met at a hotel on the outskirts of town, about 20 young men. Some were cult boys, some were jobless graduates, some were simply tired of suffering. The coordinator spoke clearly. No unnecessary violence, but if opposition tries nonsense, you know what to do. They were given branded caps and small cash for mobilization. Emeka noticed something else. Fear, even among them. Because politics in Nigeria is not just about votes, it is about power. And power does not lose quietly.
The sun rose heavy. People lined up early. Old women, first-time voters, market traders. Emeka stood near the polling unit pretending to organize the crowd. Then it started. Party agents whispering, voters being quietly redirected, names missing from register, security officers looking away. Then came the real order. Snatch if necessary. Emeka's stomach turned, but before he could think, chaos erupted. Another group of thugs arrived. They were not from his party. Shouting, pushing, someone fired a gun into the air. People scattered. An old woman fell. A ballot box overturned. And then, the shot. Not into the air this time. It ripped through the plastic box. Ink exploded. A young boy, maybe 19, fell. Blood on the sand. Emeka froze. The boy was not armed. He was only trying to protect the ballot box. His voice still echoed in Emeka's ears. "Leave it! Let the people vote!" But the people were already running. The security officers disappeared. The thugs vanished. The politicians were nowhere near the dust and gunpowder. Only the poor were left bleeding.
By evening, news spread. One youth killed during election violence. Just one sentence on the radio. No name, no story. Just one youth. Emeka knew his name, Chinedu. They attended the same secondary school. He was always stubborn about justice. Emeka washed his hands that night, but the ink would not leave his thumb. He scrubbed harder, still there. He looked in the mirror. He did not see a victim. He saw a collaborator. The envelope of money was still under his mattress. It now felt like a coffin. 2 days later, results were announced. His party won. Celebration erupted. Fireworks, music, Thanksgiving service. The politician who paid him stood on a podium and shouted, "Democracy has prevailed." Emeka felt sick because he knew something else prevailed. Fear, money, manipulation, and silence. That night, Chinedu's mother wailed in their compound. It was a sound that broke something inside him, and for the first time, Emeka understood something clearly. Election malpractice does not just steal votes, it steals lives.
3 weeks after the election, Emeka received another call. "Chairman wants to see you." He dressed carefully this time. He expected gratitude, maybe a small contract. Instead, he received a warning. "You did well," the politician said, smiling thinly. "But remember, what happens during election stays during election." Emeka nodded. "And if anybody talks, accidents happen." The message was clear. He was no longer just a youth volunteer. He was part of something darker. And darkness does not release people easily. The new government took office. Nothing changed. Roads remained broken, hospitals lacked drugs, salaries delayed, but security worsened. The same thugs used during election now roamed freely. Some were given political appointments. Some became special assistants. They extorted traders. They intimidated critics. They acted untouchable because they were useful. Emeka began to understand the full circle. When politicians use violence to win, they must reward violence to stay in power, and the people pay the price.
One evening, his younger sister returned home crying. 2 boys stopped her on the road. They demanded money. When she refused, they slapped her. Emeka recognized them. They were in the hotel meeting during training. They laughed when they saw him later. "Guy, now politics we they do, relax." Politics. That word now sounded like poison. He had helped create monsters, and now the monsters were eating his own house. That night, he went to Chinedu's house. The compound was quiet. His mother looked thinner. When she saw Emeka, she did not smile. "I know you were there," she said softly. The words hit harder than any slap. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "Sorry will not bring my son back." Silence. Then she said something he would never forget. "They use you people because you are hungry. After election, they forget you. But we bury our children forever." Emeka cried, not loudly, but deeply. For the first time, he understood that bribery is not just about money. It is about selling tomorrow.
Another election was approaching, local government this time. The same black SUV returned, but this time, Emeka did not open the envelope. "I'm not interested," he said. The man's smile disappeared. "You think you are clean?" "I know I was wrong." The man leaned closer. "Be careful." Threats followed. Business harassment, police invitations, rumors spread about him. But something inside him had changed. Fear no longer controlled him. Guilt had already done its worst. Instead of mobilizing thugs, Emeka began mobilizing voters. He went street to street. "Don't sell your vote," he told them. "That 5,000 naira will finish in 1 week. Bad leadership lasts 4 years." Some laughed at him. Some listened. He shared Chinedu's story. This time, he mentioned his name. He refused to let him remain one youth. Slowly, something shifted. People began to understand that election malpractice is not a smart hustle. It is self-destruction.
Election day came again. Tension returned. But this time, Emeka stood differently. Not as a thug, not as a manipulator, but as a protector. When suspicious boys approached the ballot box, he confronted them, not with violence, but with numbers. The community stood together, women, youths, elders, and something powerful happened. The thugs left, because unity is stronger than intimidation. Results came. For once, it felt genuine, not perfect, but cleaner. And when Emeka looked at his thumb after voting, the ink felt lighter, not because it weighed less, but because his conscience did. Election malpractice is not politics, it is self-sabotage. When you collect money to disrupt elections, you are not punishing politicians, you are punishing yourself. You are empowering the same system that will deny you jobs, healthcare, and security. The politician will travel abroad. You will remain here, living with the consequences. Don't let hunger turn you into a weapon against your own future. Because the ink on your thumb may fade, but the stain on your nation can last generations.